Does everyone have this presentation already?
I do not.
Okay. So I'm using an Apple product, borrowing it, and I don't know how to usually use these. So this is going to be so fun.
It's going to be great.
All right, let's do this. That's not my dog. Where did this go? There we go. Can anyone see that? I tried screen sharing.
I cannot.
Okay, hold up. How about now?
Yes.
So does that take you guys out of it? Out of the presentation?
Kind of, yes.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll just stay here. Let's give it till 1:05 to begin, just in case. Get some stragglers.
And I want to apologize up front because I'm only going to be able to stay in here for a little bit and then I have to jump out.
Don't worry, it is a long, I understand it's 58 pages, 59 slides. So we understand if you can't hang for most of it. I'm sure most of the content will be up front and then the rest will be a summary towards the end. So that's totally fine.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys want to stop me at any point in time, ask me more questions about the material I'm covering or any of these ideas, pick my brain a little bit, go ahead and just stop me. I'm not going to be looking at my Zoom screen. So just go ahead and start interrupting me with your mic because or you don't have to raise your hands. All right. I think we have a few people on. So just to get started, I'll kind of go over who I am and a little bit about my background. My name is Nicole Nijmeh. I do live in Hollister. I'm originally from Santa Clara, California. I've lived in Hollister for 7 to 8 years now. I got into real estate 4 years ago. So I am relatively new. I moved to Keller Williams 1 year ago, and since then have increased my production by 63%, according to Jordan, who gave me that awesome stat. When I started, I was with Remax on a small team with a personal mentor. I did Tom Ferry coaching, and I had a really, really great foundation that I attribute a lot to my early success. And I've continued a lot of the things I've learned, kind of tweak them to adjust to my own personal style, my personality, and also the demographic and kind of leads that I was going towards and wanted to work with. I only work with people that I want to work with now. So I get to, luckily enough, I get to choose my clients and make sure that we have rapport and, you know, everyone will be happy in the transaction. I primarily work in Hollister. Of course, I'm willing to work in San Jose, Merced County, Monterey County, but I definitely do all of my farming and majority of my business in Hollister and in San Benito County. I found that I am able to make a bigger impact on the population there, and I'm more well known, basically like a shark in a small pond kind of deal. We do have 200 agents in San Benito County, and of course, agents from all over come work in our area. So I really, really love having my small niche little farm in Hollister. I know that for many of you, you guys work in the Bay Area. And so the numbers, the stats, the amount of homes, the amount of competition, it's at a much larger scale than what I experienced. So just note that anything I'm talking about is my own personal experience and what I've personally done and what's worked for me. And of course, take anything you want and make it work for you in your farm, in your areas. And again, for anyone who's joined recently, so sorry if this is a little ill prepared. I was camping and out of service for the last 4 days. So I just got back 30 minutes ago. We'll go ahead and begin. I don't know if any of you guys have this PowerPoint, but feel free to take notes. Stop me if you need me to go over something again. I'd be more than happy to. I'm going to try to go relatively fast since there's a lot of content. So stop me at any time. Today's topic is going to be upshifting your lead generation. A lot of times when we are new agents, we get the concepts, but where do we find people? How do we get people to trust us? How do we get people to work with us rather than people who have been in the business for a long time? Most agents struggle within the first year of getting a transaction. So we hope that with working with the Keller Williams team, that you guys are able to be successful early on and not have to struggle for the first year. Some of our main ideas today will be perspective, outwit, outplay, outlast, find the motivated, and sources of leads, and the bottom line. And forgive me because I'm going to be going back between my notes and working on the slides for you. And just know that Keller Williams Realty has taken due care in the preparation of all the course materials. We do not guarantee the accuracy now or in the future, and we make no express or implied warranties with regards to the information program presented in the course, this manual, and reserve the right to make changes from time to time. Let's go on to the perspective. So at the end of the day, if you're not going to generate leads, you're not going to have business. You get exactly what you put in when it comes to real estate. Nothing comes passively. Not until at least you've established yourself and worked hard enough to hopefully make enough successful transactions that you start receiving referrals and passive income. So in a market where there are many buyers and sellers doing transactions and businesses, you know what to do and say. Leads are plentiful and they come to you with little effort. We are now in a shifting market. Things are a little bit harder. Buyers are a little more apprehensive. They have less buying power. Sellers aren't sure what's going to happen either, so they're holding on. They have the equity from the last 2 years. They don't necessarily need to sell. So things are rapidly shifting. And as a new agent, I can see why this is scary, especially with talks of market crashing and things like that. So we really have to establish ourselves as a resource, being very knowledgeable what's happening in the market, and also keeping a positive outlook as much as we can. Of course, being realistic and not lying about what's going on in our market. So the market has shifted in many areas. The amount of leads have diminished. Things are slowing down. Lead generation is your business. So fewer leads, fewer showings, and increased days on market. So it might be a little bit harder for us to get to reach our clients and convert those leads. Interestingly, veteran agents lead generate the same way through all kinds of markets, buyers, sellers, or neutral. So not only to survive tough times, but to thrive and grow in their business. They know the truth. The lead generation is the engine to their real estate sales career and the habits they embrace and focus on each day and every day, no matter what the market what market conditions they're in. Lead generation is your business. Without your leads, you have no sales, you have no closing, you have no income. There is no activity you can do each day more that will build your income and your business. So if you're not lead generating, what are you doing? And if you are lead generating, what have you mastered? And are you truly focused on your lead generation? Just want to make sure I'm keeping up with this. So do a mind shift, negative framing and reality framing. When there's a where there's a will, there's a way. Change your mindset. So what's a mind shift? So you need to adopt a mindset that prepares you for success and sustained lead generation. It's essential for your business and it's essential for your life. It's essential for your success. A lot of times in our careers and in real estate, you get a lot of no's, and that can really have a negative framing or a negative impact on your mind. So I personally, for every no, I know I'm one step closer to my next yes. Typically, I used to do Tom Ferry training and coaching, and for every 45 conversations, many of those were no's. You typically, if you are skilled and are practicing your role play and everything else, you should get 3 appointments from 45 conversations. And for those 3 appointments, you should get 1 listing or transaction from that. So if you're really working on your skill sets and you're actually doing the lead generation, the cold calling, the door knocking, all the not so fun stuff, statistically, you should be making progress. Just know that for every single no that you get, it's 1 step closer to your yes. And just think of it as a statistics. Every time you make a call and they hang up on you, check it off. That was 1 conversation. Move on to the next one just to get to the 45th conversation so you can get that appointment. What's the next one? Know the facts. Buyers and sellers use agents. There are 2 million agents as according to NAR in 2015. There's 5.8 million units of existing home sales, 1.1 million units of new home sales, and this is, by the way, United States stats. And a total of 6.9 million transactions, or $13.8 million in sides. So there's a lot of money moving around. As long as you're doing your lead generation and tracking the stats, it's also really important to track your progress so you know where to make adjustments. For instance, when I was doing my calls, if I wasn't getting 3 appointments for 45 conversations, I knew I probably wasn't honed in on my skills, my objection handling. I didn't sound as professional. I was talking too fast. There's a million things that you can do to make adjustments. And then as I was tracking, I was seeing my numbers get better and better and better. And actually I got to about 38 conversations per transaction. So I improved a ton. For negative framing, are you thinking that lead generation is work or hard work? Do you think it's uncomfortable, that you may not be as skilled or as confident as you'd like to be? Does it set you, are you worried about rejection? And negative framing also means having to ask for business. So are you, every time you're having a conversation, are you asking for the referral? Are you asking, do they know anyone who's looking to buy or sell? It's uncomfortable. It really is. And then when you do it a lot, it becomes natural, second nature. The way you ask kind of becomes more natural and not as awkward for you. So agents with this kind of thinking, or who buy into the negative media or opinions of others, may soon see their business affected in similar negative ways. Your thoughts directly change your actions. And in order for you to move into a position and that is positive and productive, it is important to start out with realistic mindset about the work that needs to be done and the opportunity that comes from your effort. Get clear about your values that you bring as a real estate agent and arm yourself with the truth about the business. Let's make a plan and take action. To put a little thought in on this. Oops, I just lost my spot. Really knowing your stuff helps build confidence too. So studying, being on top of, like, I listen to podcasts. I go on keeping current matters. I listen to a bunch of different perspectives on the real estate market, housing economist, just so I am in the know, and being able to have the content to discuss with people really gives you confidence as well. Facts and statistics. What's your current mindset on lead generation? Jot down your feelings, your emotions, your expectations, and commitments. Share them with the group if you feel comfortable doing so. Does anyone want to share your current mindset on lead generation? No? At first, I know that I was apprehensive. I felt lost. I felt like there was way too many options out there. Do I pay for my leads? Do I door knock? Do I cold call? Where am I going to get the lists and the phone numbers for cold calling? How do I get people to trust me? I was 28 when I started, and I have a baby face. So most people looked at me and they didn't see me as a professional. How do I overcome that? Those are some of the things that, for me, with lead generation, I was really concerned about. Does anyone else have any current mindsets or thoughts about lead generation?
Can I, Christina here, Nicole. I don't have a feeling of like I'm not scared to call people or reach out to people. I just don't know where do you get how do you, on a daily, what do you do to talk to people and lead generate? What do you do on a daily basis?
So when I first got started, I actually was bartending, and I'm not saying for anyone to pick up a second job. That was a major lead source for me. I bartended, and I always threw it in to conversation casually. And then I'd always have cards in my apron to pass out to people. Or, you have no idea how many times you just walk by a table when people are looking at Zillow while waiting for their food. So that was one lead source for me. Two, of course, it's hard when you're first starting because you don't have a lot of income. So spending money is not the best. But there's resources to get phone numbers just to cold call. There's Whole Resource, Vulcan, RedX, the one that partners with Boomtown, and those will generate phone numbers that are as accurate as possible. I've noticed with like Whole Resource, they're not very accurate. You get a lot of old phone numbers. So you can pay for phone numbers just to circle dial. Say, hey, I noticed that your neighbor at 123 Red Street recently sold for $730. I had a buyer that was looking at that house. They missed out. Is that something that you're thinking about? How does your house compare to that home? Oh yeah, cool. Can I give you an updated home value? What's your email? Okay, that was one way I got conversations in. Another way was I did literally 8 to 12 open houses every single month. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And who goes to open houses? Usually unattended buyers, unskilled buyers. A lot of my first leads were very, very, very cold leads that honestly, some of them are just now turning over after 4 years of working on them with constant follow-up, database updates, following them on Facebook, letting them see who I am. So I would say that how I initially found them, mostly open houses, for sure. There's also, I don't know if you guys have utilized this, at least with Keller Williams. I know Mike's brokerage is OpCity. OpCity, you guys now have the OpCity app. That's a lead generation tool. There's Ojo. I believe Ojo is free. Download Ojo. See if you guys can get on the Ojo network. They're very cold leads that you have to work. You probably have to get pre-approved. They might need to work on their purchase price. That's another great free option for you. I always focused on free options when I was first getting started because it's so expensive at first. So mainly open houses. I just let them know, hey, thanks for coming by. Here's a sign-in sheet. My seller would like to know everyone who's coming through the house. Of course, if you have any, if you guys have anything you would like, any, sorry, I'm blanking, opinions on the house, please leave them for my client. We really appreciate your help. When I do open houses, and you can ask my mentee who's shadowed me, I don't even talk about the home, not once. I just chat with them and get to know them. And then if they ask me questions, I make sure I'm prepared with everything. I know everything about the neighborhood, the school district, other similar homes that they might like. I send them over to those homes, or I ask them if they'd like me to take them after I'm done with the open house. Honestly, it's endless. But what I do is I focus on 3, because I want to get really, really, really good on 3 set lead generation skills, personally, of course. And so that I'm not putting a little bit here, 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 and hoping that it becomes something. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you. Real quick, do you actually work Opcity? Sorry.
Honestly, I am at a point in my business where I feel a little bit overwhelmed with what I have passively coming in.
Okay.
I don't take Opcity leads myself because they're cold and require a lot of nurturing. And for me, I have other leads that are a little bit warmer that I tend to focus my effort on. But I do have the notifications on. If something comes in Hollister specifically, I will try to get it. A lot of mine come from Merced County and other areas that I don't really want to work or aren't at a price point that I'd like to be in anyways. But Opcity, I know Opcity works.
Yeah.
I've heard from other agents great things. Ojo for me actually has been more successful personally. Ojo, I've had some solid leads. Both of those, they apparently vet your leads. They follow up with you. They'll also call the leads for you and be like, hey, did you connect with Nicole? How was the experience? What do you need from them? Can we help you in any way? So I think it gives you a little bit of credibility when you use those 2, because it seems like someone's working for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that information.
Yeah, and a little bit cheaper too than, a lot cheaper, obviously it's free, than Zillow, especially because Zillow is so saturated that you spend thousands of dollars and get maybe 1 lukewarm lead. That's really hard to convert.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on. If you guys do have more questions about lead generation, please stop me. And so we're just going to go over how to get the most out of this experience with any of these shift classes. It's, again, tying into the mindset. You have the mindset of the prisoner, someone who feels like they have to be here. Maybe your coach asked you to join this shift class and you didn't really want to spend an hour or 2 out of your day to do it. Someone that doesn't engage or ask questions like Christina is. Someone who's distracted and looking at other things while they're on the class. They hold limiting beliefs, meaning they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that this is going to have an impact on them. Multitasking on your computer. Picking fights. Go ahead and test me, guys. If you have any conflicting information, I always like playing devil's advocate with people. The vacationer, someone that's a day in training is better than a day on the job, spends as much time chatting more than listening, there to have fun, distract the class with irrelevant comments, not purposeful on their learning goals, or spends their time on their smartphone, texting or chatting. We hope that you'll be the explorer, someone that's excited and curious about the new knowledge, skills, and tools that they'll discover in this class. You're listening attentively to my mistakes in reading, asking meaningful questions, and contributing compelling ideas or anything that would help this class. I know a lot of people are shy to get on and ask questions because they feel stupid. Please, there's no stupid question in real estate. Every transaction is different. Every person's experience is different. So love to help you or give my own personal insight. I don't claim myself as a professional, but I would love to at least help you work through your questions. And also, we just hope that you'll embrace this learning and participate fully and commit to implementing what you learned here today, because really sitting through this class isn't going to do anything for you if you're not implementing it. And remind yourself why you're doing this class. A big thing about real estate is why. Why are you doing it? That's personally like your motivation. Why are you waking up every day and doing your phone calls? Why are you doing your lead generation? All these painful things. Really hone in and focus on your whys. For me, it was to build a life with my husband, My husband left me in 2020. I'll be vulnerable here. And I didn't feel like I had a why. And so my business kind of went down a little bit because I didn't have the motivation during 2020 when my husband left me. Now I've refocused, found a new why, and things are back up. I'm able to focus on that to get me through the hard days, to get me through the no's, to get me through those buyers who go behind my back and go with someone else. You know, we all have it, even as higher producers, we have all the crappy things happen to us too. We're going to focus on outwit, outplay, outlast. The power of one, personal assessments. What is your goals for closed transactions this year? How will you spend your money? Who holds you accountable? How many hours daily are you lead generating? Actually, let's go back on this. So another thing I learned from Tom Ferry was I went backwards. So I put how much money I need to make annually, or what my goal annual income was, in order to meet my why. And then I calculated my median price point in my area. And then I calculated from there, I went back and I said, okay, I'll probably make about 2.5%. Okay. And then I took out my broker's cut. Okay. And then so I said, how many homes do I need to sell? And then back then I was focusing mostly on buyers at open houses. So 80% of my business was buyers. Okay. And where am I targeting these? So you go back up until how many buyers? Okay. How many appointments do I have to have? Okay. How many conversations do I have to have? And I calculated to the day how many conversations a day statistically I had to have in order to make my income goal. Going from conversations to appointments, to listings taken, to the amount of buyers, to the median price point, to the percentage of commission, all the way into my income goal. So I had that specifically nailed down to the conversation per day. And I had that in my calendar. And then how are you going to spend that money? Are you calculating also your expenditure? Again, part of your why, for instance, for me, it was buying my first home. So how much am I allocating towards that? Who's holding you accountable? You have obviously your Keller Williams team. For me, it was helpful to have my husband in the morning holding me accountable. Like I told him not to talk to me until X time in the day so that I can get my lead generation done in the morning. So who's holding you accountable? Do you have someone that can help you with things like that? And how many hours a day are you lead generating? I believe Keller Williams wants you to do 3 hours a day. How are you scheduling that out? I know for my mentee, I tell him to put every hour, at least for me, this is what I do. Every hour of my day is kind of scheduled. If I don't hit it, it's okay. I know in the mornings from 5 to 6, I'm waking up and doing my morning routines in the at my house. From 6 to 7, I'm doing some sort of exercise, and then I start my lead generation from there. So how are you implementing your lead generation and scheduling it? I'm not even following my instructor's manual. Oops. All right, the power of one. The KWU course material discusses the one goal, a target number of closed transactions. Just as I was discussing, what's your one goal? One discipline. What is your lead generation tactic that you're going to be focusing on? And one habit, doing that lead generation for 3 hours each workday. Together, this power of one and is the basis of lead generation. Lead generation isn't a new concept, nor is it necessarily hard to do. Most likely you have already been aware of the many different options for lead generation, kind of like the ones I discussed with you, and perhaps you've tried several. The question is, are you devoting at least 3 hours a day to lead generation? If you're not, what kind of reward or your big why? And what form of accountability will help you attain the power of one? When you truly understand why you're in this business, you'll find an easy way to commit to the consistent lead generation. One of the podcasts I recently listened to said, he asked his students, can you make $1 million this year? And most of them said, probably not. He asked, so if your whole family was going to get killed if you didn't make $1 million, would you do it? And they said, absolutely. What's your what's your motivation? I know that's extreme, but if it's not an option not to do it, you'll do it. You kind of have to get in that mindset. To master lead generation, you'll need to outwit, outplay, outlast the game of real estate. Incorporate these 3 steps into your daily routine. Outwit. 1, study. Be the market expert. Study the industry in your local market for 30 minutes to an hour each day. I'm going to go around here. Please forgive me. What's nice is with MLS listings, they've made this so easy. My old broker used to track on a PowerPoint spreadsheet stats, so she knew the market trends. Luckily for us now, MLS listings has upgraded a lot of things for you guys. Like up here at the top, the Oculus Weekly, you can go and look at stats. For me, it's San Benito County. And you can track stats. You can use this also content creation material, conversation pieces for any conversation with anyone, just learning your market, seeing that we're seeing a little bit of a cyclical dip here. You can also go to more stats and you can search. My MLS area is 180 through 187. Find your farm that you want to work in. Focus on the demographic you want to serve. Farm those areas. Look at, you can generate all these awesome stats here and just keep up to date. Like, oh my gosh, look at this drop here. 98% of sale to list price ratio now in my market. So these are all things that I look at daily. I look through every single house on the market because maybe I have a buyer that is like, oh, I kind of want a 3-bedroom house, and be like, oh my gosh, 123 Red Street. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it has XYZ. So really being a master of your market and helps you have content and confidence when talking to clients. 2, outplay, practice, say the right things, practice scripts, dialogues for 30 minutes to 1 hour each day. Another thing that I used to do when I was a brand new agent is I did role playing. I found other new agents. I found other experienced agents, my mentor, friends, and I would practice cold calling. I give them a topic. I call them, say, ring, ring. Hi, this is Nicole with Keller Williams. I'm looking for Joe. Joe, hi. I'm just calling for, and then just brush up on the different topics. If you guys want some materials, scripts, and things like that, got them from Tom Ferry. There's actually free Tom Ferry script downloads on his website. I would go for that. Just practicing. Maybe there's a listing that you want to, listing in an area you want to get. Maybe you want to go after expireds, because at one point in time, those sellers raised their hands and said that they wanted to sell their house and something did not work. Calling expireds, great option, and focus your role playing and scripts on expired listings. Why didn't they sell? Overcoming that objective with them. And 3, time on the task. Find and attract buyers and sellers. Lead generate for 3 hours a day. This profession is skilled based and knowledge, scripts, and dialects presentation based. So it's always been and it always will be. So practicing and studying these things is really, it's all you really have to do. And it becomes seamless and you're able to easily talk to people, the more confidence you build, the more credible you become. So for 30 minutes to 1 hour each day, study the industry in your local market. Also for 30 minutes to 1 hour each day, practice your scripts, dialogues, and content. And then also implement those skills and talk to people and lead generate for 3 hours a day. Especially if you have no clients, what's your excuse? So why would you ever want to be in a position where someone else knows more about your industry and your local market than you? What can you do to prevent this from happening? You study each and every day the agents who know the market backwards and forwards. Oh, sorry, I got a title call. Look at their numbers and trends and pay attention to what's going on in their industry, and relate industries as well on daily and weekly basis. All right. So I already kind of went over this. Sorry, I'm not following. So study topics, new developments in the area. So this is awesome. Honestly, this is a great slide. I would screenshot this. I would use this 1 for study materials to become a professional on in your area. 2, I think this is a great slide for topics for content creation. As we all know, everyone's all into social media content creation, videos. I found them to be very useful myself. going to new home developments and touring those, giving people a preview, telling them to come check it out. Guess what? New home developments, the easiest transaction you'll ever do. The sales office takes it over for you. Easy 2 to 2.5% commission. Promoting the new home developments. And also what I've done too, when I take buyers out, the first thing I do is go check them into the new home developments. They say they don't want new homes, but guess what? Once they see them, they're going to want a new home. Check them all into new home developments first, and then show them the resales. This way, if they go back to that new home development, you're going to get your commission on that. Quick tip. Study your homes on the market and preview them. I always attend my agent caravan tour. What I do at that is it helps me, 1, network with my peers, 2, know what's on the market and be able to establish value of home. So when I go into a home and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is the quality of a $700,000 home. It helps give me market perspective. 3, it gives me an opportunity to highlight homes that aren't for sale. A lot of times I'll ask the listing agent, do you mind if I post this on my social media? I'll live stream the home. Content creation, selling and negotiation techniques, study selling and negotiation techniques. So this is something, if you're in a mentorship program, I would do with your mentor. Financing options, find your preferred lender. If you need a great recommendation, I love my preferred lender. She's babied me from day 1 to currently. Have them go over different financing options with you. What's a HFA loan? What is the requirements for a conventional loan? What is an FHA loan? Just for your own personal experience, not because you want to give any financing advice. That's not your realm. But just so you know, and building a new construction, go ask the builders in the sales office what the process is. Home inspections, ask your mentor if you can shadow a home inspection and what that entails. Record it. Same thing with appraising. Local and national media messages. So there's a ton of conflicting information here, but just kind of knowing what people are saying helps give perspective. Industry specific news. Read up on what NAR is posting, Inman News, Real Trends, theactiverain.com, real estate investing, technology, computers, internet. So I'm not really sure what they want to do with that. And study your own market numbers. Also I know in the Bay Area, the numbers are so much larger than Hollister. So obviously you want to look at the picture as a whole, but if you're working a specific farm, let's say Evergreen, you want to know the number of homes sold, the number of homes on the market, the number of homes pending, expired, average days on market, average list price of these homes, average sales price of these homes, months of inventory, and average interest rates. Again, screenshot these because these are things that you should be studying every single day for 30 minutes to an hour. What price range is the most active in your market? Do you guys know? I know in Hollister, it's 700,000, 800,000. Typically like a 3 to 4 bedroom home, 20 years old. All right, so many great real estate agents and salespeople have come before you, and some have written books detailing their techniques for success. Many of them coach people to be successful. So pick up a book, a video, audio tape, sign up for a seminar, learn the best. Don't forget about the education that's offered through the Market Center, the region, and the international offices. Some great Keller Williams offerings for you are the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, Shift, and How to Be a Top Real Estate Agent and Tackle Tough Times. I personally like listening to these on audiobooks. I'm an audio learner. So they're available on Audible as well as, I believe you get them through the Keller Williams office. So here's more resources for you. If you guys want to screenshot this, do you want me to continue on? More resources. So you can go to masterminds, mega camp, the family reunion. You can do MAPS coaching. I can't tell you, when I moved to Keller Williams, I was overwhelmed with the amount of resources that were available. Some of which I hope to take part in myself, even as a 4-year agent. who does on average 35 transactions a year. These are all the things I want to start getting into and more involved with Keller Williams. It wasn't something I had at my smaller brokerage in Hollister. I really, really, really recommend you guys go to a few of the events, coaching, and KW courses. And thank you also for joining Shift today. All right. Confront the media. The real estate is a local business. Media is national. So a lot of times what's on the news doesn't reflect your small little local business or what's happening in your area, especially the Bay Area, where things are a little bit, they're not hit as hard as maybe other areas. Hollister, I can say, it's a bedroom community. We don't have a lot going on. So when things slow down, we really feel it in Hollister. Luckily in the Bay Area, you don't feel it as hard as you do in smaller, maybe bedroom communities and things like that. So media negative spin, let's keep going. Sorry, by the way, if I'm a little bit spastic here. Be the local economist in the media. So what you can do is when you study that data, you're able to directly inform people of how your local market compares to what the media coverage is. So you can say, well, I know everyone says the market's crashing, but guess what? We had 26 sales last week in Hollister out of 124 homes active on the market. Said, so things are still moving. Our absorption rate's great locally. All I can tell you is what's happening here today, and you can interpret the market for them. Would-be buyers and sellers are looking to you for perspective and solutions. Every day you face a profound opportunity to assure them that the sky is not falling. One of the things I've heard recently, especially with rates going up, is you're married to the home price. You're dating the rate. Right now, buyers have amazing negotiating power, and they can get homes for a lesser price, often under asking, at least in Hollister. Again, in Hollister, they can get it under asking. The rate may be higher, but in a little short amount of time, of course, the rates are going to go down again, and they can refinance for a lower payment and a lower rate. And also their tax base will be lower because they bought at a lower price point. So there's tons of benefits to that. Okay, what are your priorities for studying, and how can you become the media? Does anyone have any input on this? What do you guys feel like you need to study more? What do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like you don't know? I know for me, finding a reliable resource that I feel is accurate, because for me, I worry if I'm following a resource and they're wrong, and I advise this is my personal fear, and I advise them it's a great time to buy or it's a great time to sell, and then things turn down and they come to me and say, well, you told me it was a good time. That's something I worry about. So every time I give stats, I say, here's what the stats show right now. Here's what this resource said today. So I'm always prefacing that this is not my personal opinion. This is what I've heard. This is what I've read. This is what I've studied, and present the data to them and let them make their own assumptions. Of course, you're going to support them and let them know it's always a good time to buy or sell. But I always make sure to preface. Like Dave Ramsey just had a great video that the market's not crashing, promoted that and got people's opinions on it on one of my social media posts. So let's also brush on the media's negative spin. So they'll say prices are down in 15 states. How can we reframe that as positive? We can say prices are stable and increasing in 35 of the other 50 states. Owners face massive, so we're not giving false content. We're just putting a glass half full perspective on it. Owners face a negative spin would be owners face massive losses as the values plunge by more than 4% in just 10 months. Reframing this as positive, we could say property values soar 300% over the last 9 years, both of which are true. Framing it in a positive way really helps with your narrative. So you can proactively counter these messages in the media with positive reframing, but also by being the media. Just as I mentioned before, video, social media, and all that is a great one way to build your credibility and to be seen and reach more leads. The media with so replace the media with your own version, right? Your own magazine articles. You could do your own newsletter and drop them at your on your farm's doorstep. I know that I do just social media, and I post it out to a bunch of my local Facebook groups. Like we have a What's Going On in Hollister, What's Going On in San Benito County page. I post on those all the time, and I get, on average per post, I get about 6,000 views. So not too bad for a town of 63,000, about a 10% view rate. Would-be buyers and sellers are looking for your perspectives and solution. Every day you face profound opportunity to assure them that the sky is not falling.
So, Nicole?
Yes.
Hey, Christina, just also I noticed, like, if you come in the office and you're talking to your fellow realtors here, they're talking about their open houses, how many people are coming through, how many offers were on the house that their client just made. So that's real content. It's not stats. It's the real market here in Silicon Valley. So that's always helpful too. Just coming in the office, being around your other realtors, asking questions. I find that very helpful. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
That's awesome. And actually, funny thing, I got a text from one of our Keller Williams agents, AJ. He knows I work in Hollister, and he, obviously works in the Bay Area. And he asked me how our market is, because he's looking for a comparison of the two, just to see if his is faster, slower moving. We're all seeing shifts. I have agents call me with comparable properties to my listings, and they ask for my activity. So of course, reach out to your fellow agents, get some insight. If you don't have personal insight, like if you don't have a listing that's sitting on the market with no showings, how do you know if things aren't selling fast? How do you know if you're not getting showings? You have to call around and ask. So yes, of course, your Keller Williams agents are great resources for you. I know I personally love to give insight and let people know how things are doing and what's going on with my listings. I'm happy to be a resource, although I know my demographics a little bit different than yours. All right, part 2, practice for 30 minutes to 1 hour each day. Study and practice scripts and dialogues. The benefits will be you're more confident, you're more excited, your desire to have conversations will be better. For instance, I did not study this material nearly enough to have the confidence and excitement to present it, but here I am. One of the reasons I wanted to do this is because I am just a new mentor, and I want to be more confident in giving instruction to my mentees. So here I am. The second step to developing a mastery of lead generation is to know exactly what to say at all times in all situations. And that takes practice, practice, practice. In fact, it takes memorization and it takes time. And that's why it's critical to devote 30 minutes to 1 hour each day to mastery. So as you practice, you'll become more confident, get excited, and willing to have more conversations. So begin with the great opening script courtesy of Gary. Try it out today or tomorrow as you stand in line for coffee or at the grocery store and see what kind of response you get. Real estate is awesome right now. Will you guys do that? Start off conversation with anyone, family member, at a social gathering, at a coffee shop. Real estate is awesome right now. People are going to ask why. What would you say?
Just like standing in line for coffee. What is that? What you're asking? What I would say to the person behind me?
Yeah. So ask me, or tell me. Real estate is awesome right now.
I don't know what I'd say. I would probably say I don't even know what I would say to the person behind me.
I'd probably say, you know what, my buyers have never had this much negotiating power in 2.5 years. So I felt so bad for my buyers all of 2020 and 2021. They lost out on dozens of homes. I had one buyer that I literally wrote over 50 offers for. And you know what? They're able to buy now. And they don't.
I think I was caught on the part of like, how do I turn around and say, what do I just say in general? Like
Anything.
Hey, cutie. No, no, I'm kidding. I'm like, hey, like, are you just to turn around and just start a conversation? That would be the hard part for me. Like what to say, not what's going on in the market. How about that? Make sense?
And again, I think that ties back into one, having that positive mindset on it,
Mhm.
being able to make it a positive rather than a negative. Two, practicing so you have confidence, because who cares? What if a stranger says, okay, then you just had a conversation. Guess what? One of your 45 is down, 44 more to go until you get to that listing. You don't know if they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. My sister literally is considering selling right now, or considering buying right now. That's great to hear. And they say, awesome. I know a great agent. Did you know that XYZ, and rattle off some stats to them?
Mm-hmm.
Here's my card. If you know anyone else who's looking to buy or sell, my name's Nicole. Pleasure to meet you. Hope to talk to you soon. Actually, by the way, what's your sister's phone number? Get the contact.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to script practice. And I would honestly find someone who's willing to have a 10-minute conversation with you and just give you some objections. I used to actually call around in different offices. I would even call in Fresno. I had a girl from a Fresno office. I had a girl from a Chico office. They were all same time in the business, same kind of same amount of transactions and things like that, having the same issues as me, same age as me. I just called around and said, hey, do you have someone who's looking to role play? And I found a girl that I would schedule consistent role play with once a week, twice a week. And she would give me great content and material and objection handlers. We'd make sure to write them down so that we could give them to each other. So basically, if we practice an objection, we'd be like, oh, I'm not stuck and frozen on that on a phone call with a lead. There's a ton of resources, and I'm pretty sure our MAPS coaching and things like that can give you insight on scripts and things to practice for that 30 minutes to an hour a day. So the good news is there's already great scripts used by seasoned experts that are available to you to learn and use. Why create your own? So use your energy and creativity to customize and personalize scripts that you encounter. Also, as you're having more conversations, you're going to have real life objections. Make sure you save those and remember them so you can practice. After you leave the conversation, you're always like, I should have said X, Y, and Z. Just make sure you practice that. Write it down. It can become your own set of scripts. Write scripts out on paper. The process of writing it helps to lock the script into your memory. Keep a script journal, a folder that creates your scripts. I have binders of different scripts, different objection handlers, things that I've heard from podcasts and from Tom Ferry coaching. I've gone to events and seminars, and they go over objection handlers, especially because they keep up with the current market. So this gives an example of sources for scripts. Here's some sources for your scripts, by the way. Screenshot this. Ask more of your team lead of where to get those. And then also, do you have this scheduled in your calendar when you're going to practice and who you're going to practice with and what will be your reward? Obviously, the ultimate reward of practicing is going to be getting the listing or getting the buyer contract. Like I mentioned before, I scheduled my role play with a random person. I didn't even know them. I don't even know what they look like. And I scheduled that every single week, and they held me accountable because they needed it too. I actually became best friends with one of my role play girls that I had never met in person. And I went to her engagement party and everything from Chico. So we still keep in contact on a weekly basis. So get into your role play, find some people that are in the same level as you within your office, in other offices, in other areas. and really, really practice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm. And Christina, thank you for keeping everyone engaged and asking me questions.
Oh.
Makes it a little bit easier on me too.
No, you have great stuff. So
Thanks.
you're a go-getter. So
Christina is my devoted TC who saves my butt on every transaction. So once you've got your scripts in hand, find someone to practice with. As I mentioned, you can form a group at your market center. I know no one wants to spend more money, but I did Tom Ferry coaching. I think it's great personally. It is expensive. One of the resources on Tom Ferry was a role play center where people just like sit in a group chat and wait to role play. These are people who are actively looking to role play. I also joined Facebook groups, real estate mastermind Facebook groups. They're everywhere all over Facebook. And a lot of people go on there and say, hey, new agent here, looking to role play twice a week, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, anyone into it. Find them that way. You can also find them any of your resources here. Ask your team lead if they have any other new agents that are of equivalent or better. Actually, why not better, right? Find someone who's looking to role play that's in a little higher of a level than you, of mastery than you. Get some ideas from them. If you guys want to role play with me, call me anytime. And also it's great to record yourself role playing. It's so cringy. It's the worst ever. Things to pay attention when you role play. Are you talking fast? One thing you should always do is you should mirror the person you're having a conversation with. If the person that you are on the phone with is very chill and slow and thoughtful on what they're saying, you're going to want to mirror their conversation and their tone and their timing. If someone's really fast like me, I have a really hard time slowing it down on the phone. I also have a really hard time not talking at them. Like I have verbal diarrhea when I'm on the phone, something that I have to consciously tone down because I want to spew all of my knowledge to them and I'm forgetting to ask them questions. Super important, super, super, super important to practice in your role play. Practice asking questions. Say, here, I'm repeating back to you what you said. I'm giving my piece of content. Let me ask you another question because you want to keep them engaged in the conversation too. So time on the task for 3 hours a day, focus on your lead generation, time block 3 hours every workday before noon. No skipping. If you erase, you must replace. So if you didn't do it Monday because you were feeling sick or you had something happen with your family, make sure you're doing 6 hours the following day. And allow no interruptions unless they are truly emergencies. I do have a cool app. It's the Pomodoro app. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Pomodoro technique, but it's working for 20 minutes, completely focused, take a 5-minute break, and it has a timer. This is super helpful for me. I put my phone away. I don't touch it. I turned off unnecessary notifications on my phone. I keep my phone now. This is something I've learned over time. I keep my phone on silent. There's not one single thing that needs to be answered immediately. If you look at it every 20 minutes, you'll be able to get back in a prompt manner. Unless you're paying for Zillow calls or something like that, then you kind of have to keep your phone on. And just super focus and schedule this out. Have it an alarm each day for when you need to start role playing. Also, one thing I learned too, say one of your lead generation tactic is cold calling, and you schedule it for 9 a.m. every day and you're not getting any answers, you're only getting voicemails. Maybe you want to adjust your cold calling time to like 6 p.m. because you know people are off work. So you can make adjustments. What to do in 3 hours. Prepare, take action, and maintain. Let me get more content for you on this one. So time on the task. The third step to mastery is time on the task. The key to becoming great at anything, the quickest way to develop a habit of lead generation is to time block your calendar every workday for 3 hours, beginning today. This is important, and it takes a strong mindset to stay in control and not allow any interruptions. So just like if you were having an appointment scheduled from 6 to 7 p.m., there's no way you wouldn't go to it, right? So you have to prioritize your lead generation as if it is an appointment. So if you are doing lead generation or role play with your role play partner every single day from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., from 9 a.m., 10, 11, 12 to 12, every single day for your lead generation and role play, and you get an appointment, maybe let's say someone asks for an appointment from 9 to 12. Nope. You got to schedule it around that dedicated work time, that dedicated lead generation time. If you had to drop your kids off at school from 8 to 9 and you had no other options, how would you attend an appointment or schedule it for that time? You wouldn't. So you have to treat your lead generation just like that. It has to be uninterrupted time. Sorry, I messed with my phone. A lot of things. Another thing that I do is I shut my door. My dog, if you guys have seen any of my social media posts, I'm all about my dog. I'll go running once an hour with my dog because she's a border collie and crazy. I have to shut her out of my room because she is such a distraction to me. So make sure you have no distractions for lead generation time as well, especially because when you're new and on the phone and doing cold calls, any little thing is going to trigger your mindset off of your task at hand. And it doesn't sound professional when you forget what you're talking about to a lead. You have to lose your excuses. Have you heard or thought of these excuses for not lead generating for 3 hours in the morning? If so, remove them from your mind. I can't possibly devote 3 hours a day. I've got other things to do. I can't reach anyone in the morning hours. I'll get bummed out if I do it every day. Yeah, not gonna lie. Lead generation can really bum out your day, especially if you're doing it first thing in the morning and you get 50 no's first thing in the morning. The rest of your day kind of can suck a little bit, I'll be honest. Let's turn some of these excuses into positive mindsets. So I don't like cold calling strangers. Let's start by calling, maybe you want to call your SOI, so your sphere of influence first. So let's say you call your friend who's not going to be disappointed to hear from you, right? Those friends that you haven't talked to in a little while. Start with them, warm yourself up. Call your high school friend, call that friend you haven't caught up with in like 2 months that you've been meaning to call, that you keep putting off. Add them to your lead generation. Call them in the morning. Hey, how are you? Let's catch up. By the way, go into your real estate scripts. It's not hard to do. That'll warm you up for those cold calls too. Your sphere, by the way, such a great lead source. Who wants to help you succeed more than the people you already know and know you and love you? So go with your sphere for sure. Practice your role playing on your sphere. They'll think you're weird, but I would definitely make that. Add them to your database. Add them to your cold calling list. Look, here's my dog circling me, distracting me. Just want to make sure I'm on key with this. We already went over these. You can't reach them in the morning, then touch with them in a voicemail message. That's also part of your role play, is your voicemails. Practice your voicemails because you're going to be leaving a lot of voicemails. Make it engaging too, and high energy on your voicemail so that they feel like they have to call you back, like they're missing out if they don't do it. Set lead generation goals. How many calls, how many contacts, what's your number of additions to your database every day that you're going to add? Number of appointments with your buyers, number of appointments with your sellers. Just like I mentioned, I know with Tom Ferry, it's 45 conversations to 3 appointments to 1 transaction. What is it? Figure out these numbers with your coach. Figure these out by tracking your actual cold calls. And also, every time you're on the phone, don't forget to ask for the referral. Don't forget to ask for their email get their phone number, and also get permission to call them back. Something I do, hi, I'm just calling. Let's just say, hey, I'm calling because I want to be a local resource to you. I don't want anything from you. Can you tell me a little bit about your house? I want to give you an updated CMA so you know what your current market value is. Awesome. What's your email that I can send that market value to? Perfect. And also, I'm going to call and check to see what you thought of that home valuation. Okay. So you got permission. You got their email. You got permission to get a call back and stay in contact with them. Okay. And also, last thing, sorry to keep you on the phone. So it'll be the last thing. If you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell, do you mind just giving them my contact information? Wonderful. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. So make sure in your cold call, you're getting more contact information. You're getting permission to call them back. And you're also asking for the referral. 3 really important things. Questions, questions, questions. Career growth initiative. Oh, I need to go back one, sorry. Here's a tip. There's no substitution for having your electronic database open with a computer screen in front of you as you make calls or send messages. Tools like eEdge allow you to add notes about your contacts and allow you to see in brief what was discussed in the last contact and when that happened. This is how top customer relationship managers, CRMs, like our Keller Williams Command, and salespeople do it in many industries. This is very true. I used to have a different CRM, and for every single call, I wrote down all the notes, everything we discussed, and the date that we discussed it, so that when I called them again, after they gave me permission to call them back, I said, hey, after our call last 2 weeks ago, we talked about X, Y, and Z. I hope your daughter is still doing great in the baseball team. Just wanted to check so they know that you've talked. You remind them of the conversation. You give yourself credibility, and you let them know that you are on top of your stuff because you're following up again. Make sure you're utilizing your CRM, your database, you're updating all the notes for every call. If they didn't answer, say I left a voicemail. What did you leave a voicemail about? Let them know. All right, moving on. We're only on 31, guys. Stick with it. If you guys have anything that you want to ask me right now about cold calling, database, anything that we just recently discussed?
I do. I just wanted to I put it in the chat, but
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry. I'm the role play person here at the campus office, and I got all the scripts. So if anybody wants the scripts from Keller Williams, and there's like 14 files, put your email, let me know in the chat, and I can send them to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Also for scripts, like I mentioned too, there's like Facebook mastermind pages. A lot of people will post their role play scripts that they create themselves from doing the lead generation and the calling and what's worked for them. So the internet is an endless opportunity, but of course we want you to focus on Keller Williams resources. We have everything here, so you don't have to search for it. It's all here for you. So check that out in the chat if you would like some scripts. Okay, moving on. Important, you could have everything else on this list, but without commitment to ask for the business, the call is wasted. Career Growth Initiative Power Tools. The tools at the Career Growth Initiative are synergized systems that fuel the 4 conversations with evidence. So listing management, so listings, pipeline, value, GCI, it's all so let's go through the vision tools. Listing management, a yearly plan for your profitability through growth and market share. Listings monthly tracking with adjustments to help you achieve your yearly goals. Pipeline, your buyers and sellers. Identify on a daily basis whether your activities will turn your goals into reality. So your value and validity tools are your agent trends, reports that track your growth in the market share, and critical levelers in your business to assess performance and opportunities. Your agent language of real estate, LORE. provides an evidence for your value by comparing your growth of your business to that of your board, your subdivision, your market center, your region. Local expert, your story of your expertise to underscore your validity of the validity of your client, your validity to your clients. Thriving tools, your GCI, track your GCI against your expenses to identify your break-even day. So I am not as familiar with this GCI tool. I kind of briefly went over it with you of how I previously learned it, backtracking from my goal GCI on back down to my buyers and sellers, back down to my appointments, from my listings to my conversations. And you're going to utilize all these tools that are available from the KW University. Get more information of this, not from me. And I'm sorry, I don't have more information on it. So career growth initiative, your pipeline tools. So when you get those listing appointments, which can be from your lead generation, your cold calling, you're going to get your listings taken. From your listings taken, I use my listings as a great lead generation source. When you get a listing, you can cold call and tell everyone about it. Who has a similar home? Who wants to buy this home? Go to hold open houses at your listing, meet new buyers that are looking for a home similar to the one that you have listed. Be a resource to them. From your listing, you should be able to get 3 appointments for every listing that you take. So that lead generation, that cold calling gets you the listing. Your listing gives you an opportunity to make calls, reach out, have open houses, have a conversation piece to meet buyers and other sellers. And then obviously that translates into more listings and transactions and buyer transactions, into more profit, into getting to your GCI goal. Okay, find the motivated. How do we distinguish motivated buyers and sellers from unmotivated buyers or sellers? Or how do we motivate them too? Do you guys get a lot of cold leads? No one gets cold leads. Okay, there are 2 approaches to generating leads. You can prospect, which is generating leads through your actions and words, in person, on the phone, or talking directly to people. So you can prospect. Or from marketing. So you can receive leads from ads, websites, signs, mailing campaigns. Those are a little bit more passive. They come to you. Prospecting is going out and finding them. While both approaches work, you need to be prospecting based. You need to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So great agents do both prospecting and marketing well, and they cover both bases. Your lead generation goals and every day is to find motivated buyers and sellers, secure them as customers before any other agent, and advise them to a mutually successful financial conclusion, especially in a shifted market. You don't have the time to waste on unmotivated, unsure, or unqualified. I don't know if you were on like right when we started, I mentioned I only work with people that want to work with me, and that I choose to work with. So I don't typically, if someone gives me the indication that they're not motivated or unsure, I don't really prioritize them. I noticed when I was a new agent, I would show buyers every weekend, 6 homes every weekend for weeks. Let me just tell you that is an unmotivated buyer. They don't want to buy. Because if they did, they would. And I would waste so much time on people that did not show that they were motivated. So the message matters. There's 2 M's of lead generation. The language of sales needs to be strong and to the point. Many agents have made the mistake of not using aggressive enough language, but a shifted market is no time to beat around the bush with your message. Whatever you say needs to be spoken with both assertiveness and conviction, no matter what the market. Be provocative. Every message you use in your marketing piece or in person must make an impression on people. And the impression you want to make is a memorable one of success, enthusiasm, and command. Aim of every conversation. Every time you talk to someone is an opportunity to build a relationship. It's a chance to connect with on a personal level. How's the family? What have you been up to? On a business level, how's your business? Every conversation is a chance to get into discussion of the market. Let me tell you about the real estate market. So the aim of every conversation is to ask for business, ask for a referral, and build your relationship. The best way to ask is with a series of great questions. Use scripts. The objective is to propose a question with some kind of an offer to generate a response. So let me make sure I'm keeping up with this. Great, okay, we already did this. The message matters. Match the market and make an offer. Okay, so the outcome frame your message. Outcome framing your message by beginning with the end in mind. Address the buyer or seller with the most pressing fears right away. For instance, a message to a seller with the biggest fear of if this is not selling his home. So in a shifted market, the real estate agent you retain to get your home sold really matters. Getting your home sold isn't easy. And just putting your home on the market doesn't get it sold. I will show you how your home will sell while other homes won't. So you're starting with the objective or their worry first. Message to your buyer whose fear is not getting a good deal. Here's your script you would use to a buyer like that. As a buyer in a shifted market, the agent you choose really matters because you want to find not only the home you like, but the one that is a safe investment. So your message matters. So you're going to match your message to your market and your target audience with the market conditions. And your message must also make an offer, direct offer, indirect offer in response. So let's get into that a little bit more. So MOFIR, make an offer for immediate response. With all your lead generation activities, your goal is to generate a response, preferably an immediate response. And to do this by outcome framing your message. What offer can you make that addresses the top fear and concern of buyer and sellers and motivates them to respond? For example, what is the buyer wanting in a shifted market? A great buy, finding better financing options. Tailor your message to address their needs. What do sellers want to sell their home quickly? What for the best price for their home? Tailor an offer to meet their needs. So the tip would be don't give information away for free. For example, make offers that entice buyers to register for your website or to call an 800 number so you can capture their contact information and get them back. So the offer, would you like to hire me to handle the sale of your home? Immediate response is yes. Immediate action for the client. Call for access to my best buy list. Immediate response, a prospect calls you or sends you an email asking for your list. Sorry, we're going this one. So do we want to stop and do this? Your message, stop and think. Write 5 statements that you can say for potential customers about the market, the opportunity, and your expertise. I'm going to have you guys do that on your own because we're going to keep going on. Get straight to your message. Agents must be clear and confident about their message. What have you offered to your potential customers? Determine your 3 to 5 powerful messages that address your buyers and sellers' concerns, fears, desires, and determine what will motivate them to respond. Take ownership and internalize these statements. So prospecting offers for direct response. Are you thinking of moving? Do you want me to help you get you the home of your dreams? Are you considering selling your home? Do you want me to handle the sale of your home? Excuse me. So direct responses message demand a direct answer. So when you're asking a direct question, you'll get a direct answer. They identify the people who are ready to do business now. If you ask if someone's thinking of moving, there's a yes or no answer for that. Do you want me to help you get the home of your dreams? That's basically asking for permission for you to help them directly. That's a yes or no. Are you considering selling your home? That's a yes or no. Do you want me to handle the sale of your home? That's a yes or no question. So you're getting a direct response with those questions. And obviously you'll find out if someone's really motivated or not They say no, they're not motivated. An indirect response message are perceived by buyers and sellers as safe, non-threatening because they do not ask for an immediate business. Indirect response is a great lead generation tool to develop a level of comfort and rapport with your potential customers over time. I'm going to our homeowners association meeting. Is there anything that you would like me to bring up? Would you mind if I stayed in touch and sent you news about what's going on in your neighborhood? So usually when I'm doing cold calling for cold leads, I'll add a little bit of both questions. So things like, do you want a home? Do you want a market evaluation? Yes or no? If they say no, you know they're not interested in selling their home. Be like, okay, well then, do you mind if I just call you periodically and give you an update or check in with you? That's an indirect question to get an indirect response. You're not really asking directly for the sale transaction or to help them buy or sell. You're just trying to keep them engaged. Prospecting offers for indirect responses. I'm doing a survey of the area. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions? I just sold a home down the street and there was a lot of interested buyers. Do you know anyone else who might be interested in selling their home? By the way, these are cold call scripts, guys, if you want to jot them down. I created a newsletter with great information about the real estate trend in your area. May I send it to you? So you're basically asking to keep in passive contact with these people without asking them for a direct sale. What's nice about this is you're getting permission to keep getting in front of them and remaining top of mind. So this is like, this is that passive way of not prospecting, but of marketing yourself. So this is the marketing piece of it. There are some examples of both direct response and indirect response messaging that can be used when prospecting, calling, or visiting with people. Which response below would quickly identify motivated leads? Are you thinking of moving? Or I'm doing a survey of the area. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions? Obviously, the direct response would be, are you thinking of moving? And that would help you identify motivated sellers. The fastest form of lead generation is through direct response prospecting. So if you're lead generating in a shifted market in any other way, you may want to reconsider your choices of prospecting. As we're in a shifting market, you might want to focus more on direct response questions and prospecting and actively going for people rather than marketing yourself and asking indirect questions. You want more immediate responses. For marketing, there are some examples of both direct responses and indirect response messaging. Let's continue on. There are some, which of these responses below would identify a motivated seller in marketing tactic? If you want to sell your home now, call me. That's asking people to come to you and to call you. Indirect response. Would you like to know the value of your home? Visit my website. So you're asking them to come to your website. You're not asking them to work if they want to work with you directly. You're asking them, basically you're going around in a circle to keep in contact with you. I think you guys have a guide. Let's go back to this. Only offering indirect response messaging won't generate much, if any, business, and certainly not quickly. You can begin with the indirect response prospecting and marketing, but at some point you must ask for the business. For example, if you're prospecting indirectly, I just sold a home down the street and was wondering if you know anyone else who is interested in selling their home. No? Well, great. If you're indirectly marketing yourself, interested in a lot with the best view, call toll free today and visit my website. Again, we'll go with direct prospecting follow-up. Before I leave, do you mind if I ask you another question? Are you considering selling your home? A direct marketing follow-up would be, I noticed that you called our toll-free number inquiring about the lot with views. When can we get together to take a look at them? I know there's a table for you guys to work on, so we're going to keep going. Source of leads. They're endless. So the choice Your choices can be both from prospecting or marketing. If you're focusing on prospecting with direct response offers, it's the quickest path to business. The cost is low, and you can practice and master this. Environment for prospecting. Make sure you're no distractions, preferably with a closed door, like when you're cold calling. Mirrors. This is a great tactic. Watching your expressions as you're talking. Scripts. Knowing what to say. Not having any interruptions. Get in the path of business. Sellers. So if you're prospecting, like I mentioned before, sellers, a great source is expired listings. At some point in time, they wanted to sell. They had a motivation to sell, and they had a goal in mind. It didn't work out. Maybe it didn't work out because their agent didn't market their home, or they overpriced, or could be a million things, right? Market was cold at that point in time. Call them, update them, let them know, hey, did you know your home equity grew 40%? I see 2006. I mean, go back in time if they haven't sold since then. I saw you listed in 2006 for $400,000. Well, I just want to let you know that if you listed today, it'd be $500,000. Are you still considering selling? Where were you going to go back then? FSBOs, for sale by owners. Of course, they want to sell. They think they can do it better than you. Let's show them the stats. Show them that homes with an agent sell 16% higher price with an agent. You pay for yourself. You do all the hard work for them. Show them everything you're going to do for them. These are great lead sources because they are actively telling you that they want to sell. Buyers, going to open houses. Obviously, people who are going to open houses are interested in purchasing. So that's a great passive, low-cost source of leads. Get back to your Mets and past clients. So if you don't have past clients, go to your sphere of influence. Your greatest source of referrals and repeats. Remind them that you're still in real estate. Update them on the market. Be enthusiastic and positive. Ask for business or referrals. Treat them as special. So what's nice about past clients is they already know you're the best, because you're going to treat all of your clients with 100% effort and care. You can I always try to touch on my past clients at least once a month. Invite them to events you're going to. If rates have gone down since they purchased, let them know they can refinance. Update them on their home value. Let them know what's going on in the market. Check in. I do something for my past clients every Girl Scout season. I always buy all my past clients and hand deliver Girl Scout cookies with a little thing that says, have friends that are scouting for an agent, send them my way. Not only are you helping the Girl Scouts, but everyone loves a treat here and there. You're touching base with them and you're asking them for a referral. So I always do at least once annually pop-bys, and usually at Christmas time too. Just wishing them happy holidays, giving them holiday cards and things like that. So you always want to stay top of mind on your past clients, because honestly, they're already know how you operate. They're basically added to your sphere. I treat my past clients like my family. I have gotten invited to like 5 Christmas dinners by my past clients. So you're always going to want to keep in touch with these people. A lot of people forget their agent's name. It's the wildest thing. Try something new. Get out in your community. This is something I'm huge on. Free. It's absolutely free to do. I go and work in a Starbucks. I post on my social media that I'll be there from 10 to 12. Tell them to come join me, pick my brain on the market, and let me buy you coffee. I'll have a sign out while I'm working. You're working anyways, right? May as well be out in a public spot where people can come engage with you. I have a sign out that says, hey, local agent here, ask me any questions while I'm out working in Starbucks. Get out in your community. I volunteer. I'm on a couple board of directors for local nonprofits. I host fun runs. This is my bread and butter here, is being in the community. If you're not social, work on being social. You can also utilize the internet. So making videos is free. Just takes time. Get on your TikTok, get on your Instagram, get on your Reels, get on your Facebook, create videos and content. There's also apps like Warm Welcome and what's the other? Anyways, there's also other multimedia video platforms that you can record a massive video. Be like, hey, just Nicole checking in with you. Let me know if you have anyone who's looking to buy or sell, and you can mass send out on like hit them up or on your email and your database. Send video reminders that people that you're in real estate and you're looking for referrals, or update them on other things. I don't utilize Craigslist or LinkedIn personally, but I've heard great things about them. Of course, all of these things are free. They just take time and effort. Use those 3 hours of lead generation to utilize these platforms and try something new and more. Go to your builders. I have really, really great relationships with a lot of my builders in town because I promote free listings for them. So Renee at KB Homes in Hollister, she refers all of the people who are looking to buy there that have to sell something first to me. Passive income, passive seller leads, just from promoting their stuff and checking in with the sales office. What promotions do you have that I can promote for you for free on my social media page? If you go on my Instagram, I promote new home builds, not my listing. You look credible though. And if a buyer wants to go tour new home builds, that's an easy sale too. Multinational groups, I don't utilize this, but if you want to look into that, do that. Generational groups and uncover your buyers. What new sources of leads will you explore and by when? Did any of these strike a note with any of you guys? Is there a lead source that you guys want to utilize after going over these?
Yeah, probably that, the one that you just mentioned, the builders.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn smart. Never thought of that.
Yeah, so I would go to every single new home build, find out what the best thing to do, because you don't want to wait 6 months to get paid, right? Of course, they have new construction and buyers like to pick out their own finishes, but what do they have that is ready to go? Normally it has some sort of sale, some sort of promotion, some sort of incentive. Like, what buyer doesn't want to know about that?
Yeah.
What buyer doesn't want $50,000 of upgrades for free? Give them your card, let them know that you're going to be promoting them, tag them in it, do the most. Because I have 2 new home developments in town that call me directly for people who want to, I don't get the buyer side, but someone's got to list their house.
Now,
And then-
when you go, sorry.
Mhm.
When you go and find these builders, I guess you just go into the new development straight into the office and just ask away, or
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Be like, hey, I've had clients that are looking for new homes. I want to learn more about your development in particular. Do you mind if I record? I go through their models. I'll record. I'll post it on my social media. Be like, oh my God, look at this floor plan. Like, for instance, K-Hovnanian, they have that awesome floor plan where the master's on the first floor and all the kids are upstairs. Some of my clients have been loving that. So I'll promote that floor plan. Oh, look at this new home development. It has a special going on right now. And they start reaching out to you. Anytime Renee has a sale, she calls me. She lets me know. I promote it. And then she returns the favor because you're making her life easier too. That's been a great lead source for me.
Never thought about that.
And just keep updated. Be like, hey, just checking in. What new home development or what move-in ready homes do you have available in inventory? What's the move-in date? What incentives do you have? Usually because they're ready to be moved in, they want to get them off their list right now. They'll give you deals. You can actually negotiate on those a lot of times. Also, I don't know if you guys have utilized this in your MLS. Right here, this new home source, look at the bottom right-hand side, new home source pro. Click that, set up this, your own website. You get your own personal link here. If your client is looking for a new home and they utilize your website to find it on a new home search, it'll be documented that you helped them find it. So this only helps validate if your buyer wants to buy a new home, or even if a lead who's not really even talking to you utilizes this link to find a new home, you have proof that they used you to find that home, so you can try to get a commission from that. Of course, they always want you to join them for their first visit to the development, but hey, now you know buyers will normally like homes on there, and you can be like, hey, I saw that you liked that new home at KB Homes. Want to go check it out? Another conversation piece. Does anyone else have a new source of leads that you want to explore? Also, by the way, who just helped the new home development?
That was me, Alex.
What was your name?
Alex from San Jose Gateway.
No, not listening. Okay. Anyways, if you just asked me about that new home development, set a day in your schedule today, right now, of when you're going to go to the new home development to go chat with them and record video. Put that on your calendar. Why don't all of you go do that? Any of you guys who have new buyer leads, send them an invitation today to go check out new home developments. Check them into the new home developments. Bet you $10, one of them goes back and buys them. And then you'll have the passive income from that. What other new sources of leads are you thinking about exploring?
I think I'm going to try to get my mentee.
Anyone else?
She does. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello?
Yes, hello.
No? All right, well, I still hope that you guys found some great resources and lead sources to try to target.
Nicole,
Some lead sources from prospecting.
I don't think she can hear.
One, from calling, you can call for sale by owners, expireds. You can call around just sold listings. They're not even yours. You don't have to say that they're your listings. Hey, did you know the house, your neighbor's house, that 123 Red Street sold $10,000 over asking? It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. How does your house compare? Oh, your house. Oh, your house has 4 bedrooms. Awesome. Did you have an updated kitchen like them? No. Yes. Okay. Oh, what else does your house have? Get them engaged. Get them excited. Would you mind if I gave you your own personal update on your home value? Awesome. What's your email? By the way, while I have you on the phone, are you thinking about selling?
Oh, no, I
I know
know.
there's a ton of buyers that missed out on this home.
I'd love to
Oh,
give
I
you.
can't hear you guys. I guess you guys are talking. Christina just texted me. Let me see. Let me get in chats.
But then you can.
Hey, Meg.
Yeah.
Meg,
Oh, no, I can't hear
post your
you.
question in the chat room. She's aware that she can't hear you right now.
Oh, okay. I got it now.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
I got it. I don't know what happened. That's so weird.
Okay.
So
Okay.
who has the lead generation sources or questions?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. So I hadn't heard about Ojo. So
Ojo.
can you give us any more information? I personally have, it sounds like it's a little bit like Op City, where you've got to be ready at the moment that they want it.
Definitely.
So
Ojo,
that's a problem for me, but I think for my mentees, it's not a problem. So that might be a good way to do it. Is it free?
Yes, Ojo is free. So I don't know if you guys can see, where is it here? So I get text messages from Ojo and it wants me to keep updating my referrals. So let's see. So it just, I think it's Ojo, go.ojo.me, I believe. And it's definitely free. I believe they have to vet you to get onto the referral website. And then they just, they shoot you a text message. There's a referral available in your area. Click link to claim. You're going to click it immediately after you see it and pray to God you got it. It'll let you know if you did. Sometimes you're on a waiting list. You just stick around and wait for your phone. Normally, then they call you. There's also Some clients only want to be texted, so I always try to go for those because those are easy conversations, right? So yes, very similar to Op City. So I definitely recommend Op City and Ojo. Free resources.
And is it the same fee that you have to pay as Op City at the end?
I believe it is a referral fee, which I'm usually fine with. I believe it's 25 or 30%.
Okay, thank you.
So while you were talking, I got on the website button. I already have an appointment with them to call me tomorrow morning at 10:30. So it was that quick. It was that easy.
Awesome.
It was that easy. So just click a button and someone's going to call you tomorrow. So super simple.
They're awesome too, because they hold you accountable too. They text you periodically and say, hey, what's going on? I sent you a lead. If you're not going to keep up on this lead and this follow up with this lead, we're going to not send you more stuff. So they want to see that people who are actually converting are getting on and taking care of the people that they're working hard and putting money into generating for you. So that's a great resource. Awesome. Anyone else have a lead source that they want to focus on? No? I'll keep going over some and you guys can interrupt me and ask me questions, okay? Yep, let me get back. Just listed, obviously, when you list a property, even if you don't list it, someone on your team that you're planning on holding an open house for, just list a property. Call about it. Call in the neighborhood. Call all your past clients. Hey, I just listed a house. Just like I told you with the past clients, all the little touch points I do at least once a month. I also, by the way, every lead I get, I try to add them on my social media. Every single one. So if I get a cold lead and they're not responding to me, I add them on Facebook. So at least they can be reminded every time they log onto Facebook of my presence, that I'm in real estate. My name becomes familiar to them. I can't tell you how many times after I add them on social media, do they start responding to my text messages or phone calls. Pretty good option. You can also, you can make, I call them strategic partnerships. So divorce lawyers, normally their clients have to split their assets. Strategic partnership. I go and promote all new businesses, like any new business in Hollister, because we have so few. New coffee shop, new whatever. I video promote them. They do the same for me. Go to apartment complexes. People are leaving. Leave them a stack of cards. Your insurance agents, leave them some cards. Your lenders, obviously, leave them a stack of cards. New home builders, like I told you, do the same thing. Work with them. My banker used to be in real estate and he stopped because it was hard. But every time I go and cash a commission check, he asks how the market's doing. I let him know. If you have anyone who's looking to buy, send them my way. Obviously, networking events, hosting client parties, door to door. No one likes doing door to door. No one likes to be hustled. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Andy C. He's a Bay Area agent. He dominates this. I believe he's with Intero. Andy TSE. He door knocks. He's still door knocks. He does hundreds of transactions in Saratoga. Door knocks, hands over a market update. Hi, I'm Andy. Just giving you your monthly market update. Leaves. Doesn't even have to have a conversation with them. If they engage with him, of course he does. But he tries not to be a pest. It's one of his tactics that I've seen. I do social functions. I host bingo nights and stuff for nonprofits. I do fun runs with my community, things that I'm interested in, people that I want to engage, people that like kind people, maybe runners like me. I'm sure that they would want to work with another runner. People who are into nonprofits like me. Booths at events. I host like a booth at our golf tournament, things like that. I do teaching and speaking opportunities. I host free homebuyer workshops. I've I'm in a first time home buyer demographic and area. So I get like 10 people at my first time home buyer workshops. Some marketing lead sources. Obviously, these ones tend to cost money. So like newspaper, you could put decals on your car with your phone number and name. I wouldn't do this because I don't always drive the best. Radio, magazines, bus stop benches. Of course, these I don't like these personally because I can't see what my money that I'm putting out, like for a billboard, how do you know that you're getting a return on that investment? And it's costing me money. Grocery carts, moving vans. I typically don't do those. It doesn't mean they're worthless. Promotional items like magnets, calendars with your names, you can drop those off. I know growing up, I lived in Santa Clara, Al Moretti left a calendar every single year, the magnetic calendars. I always had one on my refrigerator growing up. I knew who he was before, like at 6 years old. So if you want to do that, go for it. It is costly. Internet websites, you can do direct mail, like postcards. I believe, Christina, what is that postcard company that we like?
Corfact.
Corfact. They have like the QR scanners. So like when you get a new listing or whatever, personally, I print out flyers and I pay a high schooler to go drop them in my farm. Usually they'll get about 50 homes dropped in an hour. And I give them cash. I tell all my friends, hey, you got a high schooler that's looking to make side cash, that's responsible. That's how I get my flyers out. Just a note, you can't put them in their mailboxes, has to be on the porch. Other promotion, or sorry, marketing, lead generation sources, Slide Broadcast. Slide Broadcast is a website that you pay for. You input phone numbers, like say from your database. You record a message, it leaves a voicemail in everyone's inbox. Cost money, those, rather than making the calls. If you're scared of making the calls, here's a great transition. Pay for Slide Broadcast, SLY Broadcast. Record a message, so at least it goes directly to their voicemail. You know what's funny is they'll call you back and be like, hey, I got a voicemail from you. And then you're going to have that conversation. Signs, directional signs, brochures. You can wear a name badge or a logo shirt or a car sign. Obviously doing your farming, either geographically or demographically. Geographically is targeting a specific area. And so like when I do geographic farming, you can also, I forgot to mention this. Go to your title rep. If you have a listing and you want all the contacts for the people in your farm or in a certain block area or around your listing, they can provide you lists. Also, you can go to, hopefully it hasn't logged me out yet. You can go to Realist. So let's go to our matrix. Let's go to more Realist. I'm gonna try to do this fast. So let's just say you guys are all gonna think I'm crazy because I'm showing you my address. Okay, so we're gonna go around my house. Don't judge me because I'm trying to remember how to do this. I haven't done it in a little while. Where's my map? Where's my map? Map. Okay. So let's clear that. Let's say one of my farms is in fact around my house, because I think who better to sell in your neighborhood than someone who lives in your neighborhood, right? So I'll go to the map view on Realist and I will create a radius on, let's just say, here's my farm, all 200 whatever people. So we're going to search in my farm, 770 matches. Oof. You go down to the bottom, you see these labels? Labels. You can print labels so you can mail to your farm. Also, it'll show you current owner. You can pick how you want it shown. Current owner, create. Has anyone ever utilized this for farming?
I have not, no.
Also, if you want to do it yourself, you can also pay title, and I think they can get you phone numbers for your farm. Ask your title rep. I highly recommend First American Title. Erica and Nellie at First American Title in Hollister will do anything for you. Okay, so that's another little lead source or marketing source. So I think you should always focus on prospecting rather than marketing. Of course, you want to do a little bit of both, because you want to use multiple modalities or ways of reaching your leads. Because let's be honest, like people all have a different way of communicating or receiving information. Some people only do physical mail. Some people don't have social media. Some people only use social media. Some people hate phone calls, but they love text messages. So you're going to try to utilize every source, especially documenting your lead sources in your database and how they've answered will help you. So like if I've documented that I've left 10 voicemails at Joe Blow's on Joe Blow's phone, and I've texted him 10 times and he's responded, well, I know which way to contact him right from now on. Also, focusing on prospecting versus marketing, you'll get more immediate results. And oftentimes it is less costly because it's just going to cost you time and energy and effort. In a shifting market, almost all successful agents agree that lead generation efforts should be focused on prospecting and enhancing that by marketing. The reason is prospecting doesn't cost too much. And this is a time when you need to be careful with your expenses. Prospecting may be a stretch for you. You might be uncomfortable calling people or talking directly to people and asking for business. But again, prospecting with direct response is the quickest path to finding motivated buyers and sellers. There are many prospecting options, from for sale by owners, open houses, door knocking, working with your past clients. And there are great Keller Williams courses like Ignite, Lead Generation, 36-12-3, and MREA courses that will give you specific guidelines and best practices for how to do each one. Pick one method of prospecting and master it. Then, and only after you've mastered one, add another technique. As I mentioned early on, I pretty much focus on 3 main prospecting tools, and then everything else is almost passive from that. So I'm putting energy and effort into 3 things and being really, really good at those 3 things. And then the other stuff just kind of comes passively on the back end. Also, you're going to want to set up an environment and a schedule for prospecting, a place with no distractions, with a closed door. Watch yourself in a mirror for your expressions, practice your scripts so you know what to say. What is your big why? So you can keep focused on why you're doing what you're doing. Every time someone tells you no or hangs up on you, focus on your why and get back to it. Your affirmations for a positive mindset. I definitely am an advocate for affirmations. At my old brokerage, and I know I revert back to that, but I have to pay homage to where I came from. Every morning we had a morning meeting and we started with our positive affirmations. It definitely sets the tone for a great day, especially when you're getting into some hard lead generation following. No interruptions. Put your cell phone away, put it on silent, no voicemails, no emails. I can't tell you how many calls, emails, and texts I've gotten since we started this class. Get in the path of business. In a shifting market, your sources of leads should move towards highly motivated buyers and sellers. Listed below are some of the sources of leads that are obvious because they get in front of you, in front of sellers and buyers who are more likely ready now, like expired SPSBOs. Those are people who have raised their hands, buyers that come to open houses. More expired listings show up in a shifted market. So I'm sure you've noticed days on market are longer. They're going to expire out, or they're going to get sick of being on the market. A lot of sellers I've noticed are in that little bit of a spoiled mindset that things should just fly off the shelf over asking. And so they have high expectations for that still. As we're shifting we're going to have to be the ones advocating and explaining that shift to them and let them know before you take the listing that things are going to be different than what you've heard in the last couple years. We're going to have to be on market. We're going to have to do open houses. We might get under asking offers. Are you willing to do a price adjustment? These are all conversations I have with my clients before we sign. I don't waste my time listing a client so that my stats can be bad because they cancel because they're not happy that I haven't sold their house over asking. I set the expectation right off the bat. So as I mentioned, more expired listings are going to be hitting the market because people are not able to sell right now, or their agent's not willing to do the most to get it sold. So these sellers have already expressed their need or desire to sell and need help. Savvy agents are going to go after these expired listings by telling the sellers the truth about the market. And during the last national major shift, top agent Bruce Hardy of Spokane, Washington, put expired listings at the top of his daily lead generation call list and had great success at this source of leads. If you're going to go after expired listings, have a great script and address the fear and needs of the seller. Have your market stats ready, along with a list of owners to call each day, and start calling them every morning early. Be consistent and don't give up on these people. Research shows that more than half of the agents who contact expired listings give up after a couple weeks. So be the one who stays in the game. Something I've done with the expired listings when I use them as a lead source previously, I pull up their listing and I do a ton of research before I call them, by the way. What did they previously sell for? Who sold it? Look at the listing. Did it have crappy pictures? Was it overpriced? What amenities? What didn't the agent do that you're going to do? Let them know how you're different. Let them know what the difference is in the market. Let them know the difference in price. Have everything prepped for when you make that call. Grow your investors business. A buyer's market is a great time to buy. That's why it's a buyer's market. So develop an investor base and keep them posted on opportunities in the market. They, more than other buyers, will understand the importance of urgency to get the best buys in a shifted market. Know your market and what's available on a daily basis by previewing properties that come on the market. Let your special investors clientele know about the best deals as they come up. Also be skilled at preparing them on returns on investments and analysis for your clients. There's also CAR classes and CAR designations, additional classes that you guys can take to help with perfecting and honing your skills, like the first-time home buyers class. There's investment classes. So those are additional resources that you can utilize too. And also you can read that Millionaire Real Estate Investor book if you want to focus on investors. In Hollister, there's not as many, so I don't focus on that personally. And don't forget your METs. Your METs are important to grow your business, and you might have been neglecting them. Get back into your regular communication with them and continue to build your database. You don't need a reason to call your METs. Just call to say Happy New Year. I'm hosting an open house next Saturday. Would you like to visit me? METs are your greatest source of referrals, so be certain to remind them that you are in real estate and that you are there for them. Don't forget to ask for the referral. Keep your METs updated on the market. In fact, tell them about the market to give you a great reason to contact them. Copy articles off the internet or out of your magazines and send them along with a short handwritten note to people in your database, and be enthusiastic and positive about the market. And an example of this is, I wanted to let you know that I helped one of my customers get a great deal on a home in your neighborhood recently. There are other great properties out there, and I would like to help other buyers into a safe investment. Do you know anyone who's looking to buy? Oops. Treat your past clients special. Remind your past clients that you're still in real estate and you're doing great, and that you rely on them and appreciate them for their referrals. Set up a special past client event, get together, fundraise, gift give, keep on top of mind with them. Personally, I let them know I will give a $500 gift to people. Don't copy me if you don't want to. It's like a referral bonus, or like paying out a referral. I let my friends and family and past clients, people that are close to me, I let them know if they refer someone to me and I close a transaction, I will give them a $500 gift card. That's me. Ask your tax accountant if that's tax deductible or not, or whatever, but I do that as a thank you. And guess what? People want to make it easy $500. Get out in your community. I went over this with you. There's tons of ways to just be out there, network, and let people see your face out in public and get creative. Here are some prospecting ideas that others have had success with. Try more. It's about going from E to P, entrepreneurial and what comes naturally, to purposeful and what's natural that may be uncomfortable. So internet, consider blogging, get your expertise in front of a lot of people. You don't have to be a great writer, but you need to know your facts. It can be super quick. Here's your 2-minute Tuesday update, and then record a quick 2-minute video. Active, sold, pending, whatever stat you want to put in there. Send it out once a week on Tuesday. Instead of email, try instant messaging. Video emails, like I told you, BombBomb is the other one. BombBomb, warm welcome. Look into these. I think BombBomb you have to pay. Warm welcome might have free options. So you can send video texts, video emails. I know with BombBomb, we utilized it a lot in my other brokerage, and we recorded, like, you can record a cute little like GIF so that they're more likely to click and open it. Cell phone texting, social media, going to your builders, and then consider specializing in a certain generational group. I personally focus on my first-time home buyers because I feel like they'll relate more to me. I'm 31 years old. I am a recent first-time home buyer, so I definitely target first-time home buyers and people that can relate to me in my generation. So figure out a generation you want to focus on and what is the message for them. Maybe they're boomers who are looking to downsize. They're empty nesters. They no longer want their 2-story house. Let's downsize them. Let's look at new home builds so they don't have to do any maintenance on their house anymore. Let's look at HOAs where they don't have to do yard work anymore. Think about who your goal client is and where you will find them, and lead generate accordingly. My first-time home buyer millennial people are all on social media. They're starting the TikTok thing. So that's where I'm focusing my lead generation. What's going to work for you? What modality does your demographic utilize the most? Uncover buyer. Those people who have been working on increasing their credit score may now have a better position to be approved for a mortgage. Find potential buyers through mortgage lenders and banks by working closely with specific lenders. My preferred lender sends all of her clients to me that don't have an agent. Investors can be a great source of multiple transactions. College grads fall in the millennial groups and are eager to purchase their first home. Can you maybe advertise in the college newspaper or a job fair, first-time homebuyer seminars? I mean, the opportunities are really endless. I think you really, have to focus on your motivation, shifting your mindset, focus on who you want your client to be in what area, and then how are you going to reach them? Utilize and get specific on 3 sources to hit that lead source that you're aiming for. And the bottom line is you need to do something now. Master your lead generation, and you will master your career, your business, and your life. Be bold and proactive and be smart. Get out in your market, discover what buyers and sellers really need from you, and then find the motivated ones to get to them first. There's enough business for you and everyone, but the leads are few and the competition is tougher in a shifted market. Study your market, learn your scripts, be clear on what you have to offer, and get creative to replace your own fear with action. So get going. Shift your mindset about your lead generation. Study your market and your industry every single day. Practice what you say every day. Lead generate for 3 hours every day. Use your direct response prospecting as the quickest path to business, meaning, do you want to sell now? Not, hey, do you want to be updated on the market or whatever? Get straight to the point. Find who's motivated. Use assertive language and get to the point. Get back to your database, build it, and communicate with it, and ask for the business. One of my mentees has his own business. It's a storefront. I have a task for him every day to pass out 5 business cards. Easy. And don't put away this guide without developing a plan to put whatever you've learned into action. Refer to your action plan on pages 57 through 58 of the guide, and write down your steps that you're going to take to improve your skill, complete it, share it, and commit to it. Also, I believe there are some scripts too on this guide. I'll ask if they'll be shared with you for practicing your objections, your scripts. There's a lot of YouTubing and a lot of Googling you guys can do for scripts. You also have all of our Keller Williams resources too. Does anyone have any last questions before we finish up? And don't forget to take other courses in the Shift Tactics series just to gain insight on every aspect of real estate. Your mind over matter markets, seller pricing strategy, seller staging strategy, lead capture and conversion, internet lead capture and conversion, creating urgency to buy, bulletproofing your transactions, expense management, effective people leveraging short sale foreclosure REOs, and financing solutions. What are your ahas? What behaviors do you intend to change? What tools are you going to utilize? What does accountability for this look like? And what will you achieve? Don't forget to fill this out. Does anyone want to share any of their ahas that they got from this course? I hear a mic on, I don't hear anything.
I think that you gave us so much information, and like you said that you just have to try a little bit of everything and then you'll figure out what you're best at.
Yes.
Best. Does that sound right?
Yes. Yeah. Is there anything that you specifically, one action that you intend to change?
Putting the time in, like you said, maybe in the morning, just to do some, it could be calling the expireds, the FSBOs. Just don't forget about that, because I tend to go, oh, I'm going to do that, but then I forget about it. So it's just a matter of just implementing that information. So
definitely, it has to be scheduled in as if it's an appointment that you cannot miss. It's as if it's a listing that you are going to take for sure.
okay.
Anyone else?
I'm going to do what Alex is going to do, focus on some new builds and do some videos
Awesome.
and post them on my business pages.
Love it. And they are the most beautiful homes, right? Like they're such a great resource to utilize.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Love to hear it. And when are you going to do that? Is it scheduled?
I'm going to do it pretty quick.
All right, let's see it in the calendar then. And then honestly, make sure you put in your calendar too, check in with new home sales agent and make sure that's scheduled to go out to email them. Hey, what updates do you have? What specials do you have? What ready builds are can I promote for you?
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Who has an accountability or an accountability like partner that they're going to be using? Did anyone join new with like a friend or on the same time as another person? Christina, I work with you on a daily basis. I'm going to hold you accountable.
Okay, so what do you want? I just put a note, stuck a pin through it on my wall here to call my expireds, and this was a little bit harder because finding those numbers is time consuming, but I think the expireds. So yeah, hold me accountable, check up on me.
I will. I actually have it in my calendar to follow up on other people, like my mentees and stuff. So I'll be doing that with you. All right. Does anyone else have any last things that they want to share? I almost don't want to put this up because I don't want to know how you thought of my course, because I was so ill prepared, guys, and I apologize for it. But I really appreciate you guys all sticking with it. If you want to submit an evaluation, kwueval.com, use any mobile device, drop down and select. This is the lead generation, uplifting your lead generation program. If you have any other questions, by the way, guys, if you want to contact me directly, pick my brain on anything, I'm putting my email in the chat right now. I am happy to be a resource to you in any way, whether it be an accountability resource, you want to pick my brain on some of my lead generation, more in depth, anything like that. Sold by Nicole N@gmail.com. My Instagram is sold by Nicole. Oops, I'm putting that in the chat as well. Feel free to follow me, copy any of my content or my ideas. You can kind of see like what I do, so you can see that I'm actually doing what I'm preaching to you guys. If you have any other questions, I'm here for you guys. I believe we are over a little bit, so I appreciate you sticking with it.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the information.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of it.
Okay, bye, thanks.